Guys, Asher coming at you today, Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. I'm glad to have you all here with me today. So, on my Hydra clan boss teams, right, I've been trying to get the best option for a decreased defense and ideally weaken on an AoE on one champion on all of my teams. So that's tough. That's tough to find, right? Even on this squad right here, I'm using Michinaki. I'm using Turvold, who has weaken on his A1, but it's not an AoE, but I know I can get so much more damage. Obviously, weaken is incredible damage. I mean, you guys already know that. 25% extra damage. That is just insane, right? It would behoove you to have both on all of your teams for Hydra clan boss and pretty much everywhere in this game. So I've been looking at options, right? I already run Lydia on one of my teams, right? So I have Lydia. Obviously, she has decreased defense and weaken. I used to run Venus. She's my go-to. I do have Venus and Cupidus, and I love Venus, right?
I still love you.
However, I've noticed now, I just did a lot of testing, right? I noticed that Venus and Cupidus can be out-damaged by a lot of other pairs that wasn't always the case with me. Again, this is just my account, champions that I have, whatever. More recently, one of the dudes, there's actually a lot of them, like recent, I feel like there's been quite a bit of power creep just in general in the game right now, but I got my hands, I did a video on it, Wallmaster Athorian, right? He can do a lot more damage than Cupidus. So I thought to myself, okay, I'll just run Wallmaster alongside Venus, and it should be great. And it was good, it was solid. But then I tried Bellinor, right? I tried Bellinor. And you know what? Bellinor is one of the few champions, Dracomorph, Lydia, Venus, Bellinor, who has the decreased defense and the weaken on the same 3-turn cooldown. 3-turn cooldown's important, right? I know there's some other kind of conditional ones. There's Gomlock Scarhide. There's a Roxanne. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red line. Sorry about that. Sorry. Those days are over. Okay, so you know what? I always throw so much shade on Roxanne. He's not that bad, but I don't love him. I don't love him. Anyway, it's a 4-turn cooldown anyway, and there's some conditionality depending on Veils and Perfect Veils. But I guess my point here is like, sure, there's a lot of champions like Rosin, like Fane, champions that have both decreased defense and weaken in their kit, but it's usually single target or on a long 4 or 5 turn cooldown, right? So I'm like, who am I missing in this game? Back to the story. Tried Bellinor, right? And the damage was better than Venus with Bellinor. Same gear, right? I had the same build on all of these champions. And I'm like, okay, it was good, but it didn't blow me away on Bellinor.
Not good enough.
So I'm like, I want my cake and eat it too. I want the debuffs and I want the damage. Damn it. So I got to thinking, who the heck else is there in the game? Who am I forgetting who has both of these abilities? And then it hit me. A champion, an old school champion. I want to say he was a fusion like 3 years ago or something. I didn't go for him. I pulled him after the fact. And then it hit me. There is somebody out there. And I tried him. And boy, he's my new go-to debuffer. And his name, he's a dwarf. Any clue? I totally forgot. Maybe some of you guys did too. I don't know. I never used him a lot. But it's Hurndig. It's Herndig. Yeah, dude, this is my new GOAT because he deals more damage than any other debuffer. Venus with the AoE burns and everything. She has poison, she has burn, she has 2 AoEs. I thought no one would out-damage Venus, and then Bellinor came around, and I was like, oh, dang. And then Hurndig out-damaged both of them. And I'm like, wow, my new GOAT. So why did I forget, right? It's easy. He has Arcane Tempest, which is a decreased defense and a decreased accuracy. Really nice ability on a 3-turn cooldown. Perfect. But where's the weaken? The weaken comes on a different skill, okay? It's Stasis Strike. And I think, I don't know what it is. I haven't played around with Hurndig enough, right? He is attacking one enemy, fully depletes the target's turn meter, but then you have to read on. Will also attack all enemies if the first attack is critical, which will always make sure it is. This AoE attack has a 100% chance of placing the big version of Weaken for 2 turns. Also places HP burns for 2 turns after the attack on enemies whose turn meters are below 30%, which over the course of a long Hydra clan boss battle ends up landing a lot of burns too. Now the only downside is it is a 4-turn cooldown when booked. But my man's got the AoE decreased defense and weaken, and he deals a lot of damage, and he kind of makes up for the 4-turn cooldown with his passive here. Stayed. Fills his champion's turn meter by 10% every time they are hit. So he's got that turn meter fill going to help him kind of catch up to try to bring this down a little bit in terms of the overall, you know, the overall longevity that it's up there. So Stasis Strike is his A3 ability. The cool thing is it doesn't really apply too much in Hydra, but Lethal Lust attacks one enemy, grants an extra turn, and decreases the cooldown of Stasis Strike by 2 turns if the attack kills an enemy. That's really good, right? What you can do with Lethal Lust, you can run him like Spider, right? You can kill one Spiderling with the A1. You get the extra turn, and Stasis Strike gets all the way back again, you know, or 2 turns back again. That's super powerful. This dude's so strong, man. We read the A1. We read the A2. We talked about the A3. Well, we actually, we went through his whole kit, didn't we, Ash? We did. Let me show you how I have him built. Now, this is very important here, guys, as well, on Hurndig, right? Hopefully, I encourage a few of you guys to give Hurndig a try on your teams, right? It's not just that he outdamaged Bellinor and Venus in the same gear on my account, yada, 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 right? It's not just that. It's the overall team did a lot more damage, you know? I don't know. It's pretty anecdotal, but what I do is I run like 40 turns of the same team 3 times, and then I take those numbers and then I compare it to another champion 3 times for 40 turns. It's not a perfect, you know, it's not going to be, there is some RNG obviously involved, but sometimes it's all you need, right? And I say that because Herndig, we were talking like 10 or 15 million more damage as a team with Herndig than with those other, you know, few debuffers that I tried. That's crazy. It's so much more damage that it more than makes up for any RNG that could be possible on a team like that, right? So I have them in, and I tried this on all of the debuffers, right? This is what I did last night, by the way, with my knight. I just spent 4 hours testing debuffers on Hydra Clan Boss. I didn't even keep any of the runs because I wanted to show it to you guys. So Merciless is the way to go. Eventually you'll get there. Cursed City gear. I love it. It's so powerful for Hydra Clan Boss because it gives you a 30% chance to decrease a random skill's cooldown when dealing damage, which he's doing on all of his abilities. That really helps us get back to that A3, keep that weakened, yada, yada, yada. And then we get the 35% ignore defense. Super, super strong. Now, I only had 5 pieces of decent gear. It's not even that good, right? So I ended up having 1 accessory as well. So I have a Merciless crit damage here. It's only a 5-star. So again, Merciless gear on my account, I'm sure like a lot of yours, isn't going to be the best gear on my account. Far from it. I do have accuracy, obviously, on the banner. I have crit damage on the gauntlets. I have attack percentage on the chest. I have speed. Really nice speed boots here. Some of my best speed perception boots. Epic too, but speed was speed with crit rate, really solid there. But again, the rest of the gear is just meh, you know. Well, this is actually pretty nice. Do I have a speed glyph for this? No, I don't, because it's 5-star. Womp womp. But other than that, I think the helmet is all right, and the you know, at least a lot of attack there on the weapon. Total stats on Hurndig are going to be 45k, almost 6k on the attack, 3600, pretty nice on the defense. The cool thing about Hurndig is his HP is, you know, about average for an attack-based nuker, maybe a little bit below 16k, but his defense is 1100, his base defense. So he's pretty easy to keep this little fella alive as well. He has 389 on the accuracy, obviously stat priorities. Shame, shame, shame. I know your name. 98% is not what we're looking for on the crit rate, but it's what we got here. I do have cruelty on him as well. I had brimstone on like too many champions on my team. This is kind of a note for you guys too. I looked at my team one day and I'm like, wait, I have brimstone like everybody. Why? Only one can land at a time, you know? So I switched a few over to cruelty. That way we can decrease the target's defense on the hits. For masteries, we have, well, this. We have War Master, a pretty typical, I would say, Hydra build on Herndig. There it is if you guys are curious. All right, let's go ahead and go into battle here, man. I mean, I could show you him in other areas of the game too, but I'm really most excited for Hydra. But I don't know, let's just, well, maybe not this team, right? Let's just throw him in a random tanky, oh geez, all the Torments, man. I don't want to go against a Torment team. That's not going to do it. Let's just throw him in a random, do I have a random nuke team kind of ready to go here? Yes, I do. Let's go ahead and throw him here. And I did just use him. I used him in Cursed City too. I'm not even going to show you the double boss because it was like an easier one. But yeah, he just went in there and basically just devastated everybody with 2 AoEs, and that was done. All right, here we go. We're going to win the speed race, obviously, against this team, but I don't think I've ever used Hurndig in the arena. Let's remove some of these stone skins, or not. I still have to go in with the ally attacks. I want to get the increase crit damage and the increased attack on Hurndig, right? So let's see what we can do here. Let's go in and try to remove some of these buffs from everybody. Turn him into a sheep, fantastic stuff. And then let's go in and hopefully get some nice nukage going on here. Okay, let's see if we can take out Duchess. I don't know. Ooh, we didn't take her out, but that's some pretty nice damage, if I do say so myself. I do want to try out the A2. I should have went in A2 first, but I got a little really wanted to check out that A3 because I know it smacks, right? Actually, let me just pull up in the background. Let me put it on auto for a second. You'll see him finish everybody off, hopefully. I want to pull him up on Hades to see the multipliers here on Herndig as well. He deals some pretty damn nice damage, man. Let me show you. Let him show off his A2 real quick here, right? Or did I miss it? No, there it is. Oh, that's the A3 again. Okay, he had the reset. Nice damage. Overall, hellhades.com gives him a 4.5. How did I sleep on this guy for so long, man? What a dum-dum. Ice Golem 5 out of 5. Ice Golem hard 4.5 out of 5? Ice Golem hard? Dang. Spider 4.5, Doom Tower Waves, Eternal Dragon, Frost Spider, Dark Fae. Obvious reasons. He's got the burn for Frost Spider, he's got the damage, he's got the debuffs, every debuff you need. Dark Fae's got the control, the fully depletes target's turn meter we barely even talked about, excuse me. 4.5 on Arena, 5 on the A1 multiplier, a 4.4 on the AoE on the A2, and a 6.2 on the single target on the A3, and then a 4 on the AoE. Godlike damage breakdown, strong damage breakdown, strong damage grading on the A1 as well. Let's go ahead and try him out in Hydra here, guys. Enough of this arena baloney. Let's get into it here. Let's really get into it. I'm going to run this team, and this is my new squad. I did a lot of testing here. I really think this is going to be a big improvement on where I was damage-wise on my Hydra Brutal team, right? You already saw my Nightmare team. We'll save the hard team for another day, but I have Hurndig is now my debuffer. I have my Hex champion. Well, actually I have 2 Hexers in here. I have a curse set on Tramaria, who's a DPS queen. I have Archer Queen in there for Hex as well for decreased speed. Decreased speed also double kind of dipping with Tramaria. I have the ally attacker, the buff extender, the debuff, everything and more in Lady Mikage. And then I have Tawana Rock as my cleanser on this squad. It's a really tight team. It's funny, I had that video, in case you guys missed it, I actually really enjoyed it. Not many of you guys watched it, but I probably need to think of a more clever title for it. But I had a video talking about, I think it was called My Secret Weapons. Look at the decrease. I mean, dude, Lady Mikage already increasing the duration of all these debuffs. It's like, it's insane. It's really insane. And I tried Lady Mikage, by the way, just apropos of nothing. I tried her in not changing forms, just staying in the original form for more ally attacks and buff manipulation. But she actually, or the team did a little bit more damage when I had her switching forms going back into the AoEs. So we're a little bit slow out the gate with this team, but things are going to start ramping up once we start decapitating some heads here. What I was saying, though, is that secret weapons video, I did oh, look at that. That's the A3 there. Pretty nice damage. More importantly, the weaken on everybody. You're seeing the burns go on and off. There's none active right now that I see, unless I'm missing one. My legendary, my rare, and my epic. Most underrated champ. Not even most underrated. Just a champion that I acknowledge not being the best in the game, but that I think, like, everybody else criminally sleeps on, and one of my favorites, you know, like, I see something in this champion that most people don't. One of those conversations. I stole the conversation from Reddit and actually shared a lot of your guys, or Reddit users, I should say, answers for this, right? But I say that to say, you'll have to watch the video to find out who my epic and my rare choice was. However, if I did a mythical, it would definitely be Lady Mikage. I mean, people already know she's the best. She's one of the best in the game, champions in the game overall, right? But legendary. I picked Nogdar the Headhunter. I really should have picked Tramaria. I mean, I'm using Tramaria like so much. I started by just using her in a curse set in Hydra with a lot of attack as a nuker, And then I'm like, holy moly, she can deal a ton of damage and be a cleanser and much, much more, right? Decreased speed and stuff like that too. And then the more I used her, I'm like, wow. And she's a speed aura lead too, 24% speed in all battles, excuse me. So I was like, holy moly, she's really good everywhere. Like, Tremaria is probably my most slept on legendary. Anyway, this video is supposed to be about Hurndig, and here I am blabbing about Tremaria the whole time. You can see the damage is starting to escalate, if you will, right? And it's just gonna keep getting better, right? 15 turns, 25 million damage. Listen, this is probably my favorite Hydra clan boss team that I have. It's not my best, you know, it's not my best. I don't have like a fully empowered, fully awakened Turvold like I do on the other team that I just showed you guys, or a, you know, OP Trunda with resets all over the place on the other team. But there's just something about this squad that I absolutely love, and I'm so happy to have Hurndig on the team as well. He can smack. That was his A1, 330,000 damage or whatever. It's nothing like absolutely insane or crazy, nothing you guys haven't seen before, but it really does add up. So I think he's the perfect mix of damage and debuffs. It's really nice to have the decreased accuracy on there too. It's kind of a more niche debuff, but it can be hard to find. But you just add those multipliers, that damage and the debuffs, and he was just so much better, surprisingly for me, than some of the other options that I spoke about earlier in the video. So guys, let me come back at you when this run is over. I will say one thing though, I don't like how low our health is here, considering we don't have a reviver on this squad. So I hope we can pick things up here. I hope we can pick things up a little bit. The thing is, I did run this team. I did run this team last night for about, I want to say like 45 minutes, and it was, nobody died in it. So hopefully, knock on wood, that happens again, because I'm not liking how low our health is getting right now so far, especially on Wallmaster, who's fairly squishy. Anyway, guys, we'll see how we do. Be right back at the end of this run. Let's see what we can do for damage here on this squad. All right, guys, here we go. 477 million damage. Not too bad, honestly. We have Hurndig with 91 million, plus all those juicy debuffs. We have Othorian coming through with 165 million, Mikage at 23, Tawanarok at 17, Archer Queen at 91, right a notch, about 500k lower than Herndig, and 85 million damage from Tremaria. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.